Hi guys, welcome to Sudani Food and Lifestyle channel. Guys, I know you haven't seen me cooking in a while or baking anything. Okay, but it's fall here, and today I'm making an apple pie. Okay, because we have lots of apples in the Northeast, so I decided I really had the craving for apple pie, so I'm gonna make me an apple pie. Okay, and these are the ingredients that I have here. I have 6 apples, but I think I'm just going to use about 4 or 5 because it's a small apple pie I'm making. And yeah, and these are Gala apples, but you could use any apples that you have, okay? And some of my ingredients here, I have lemon, 1 whole lemon. Okay, I have an egg. I have ground nutmeg. This is allspice, but I'm going to be using cinnamon. Okay, so I'm going to take the allspice and I just accidentally grabbed the allspice. Okay, but I'll get my cinnamon. You could pass me my cinnamon over there. Okay, because all the bottles, they look alike. So now I have my organic cinnamon here. Get the allspice out of the way. I won't be adding any allspice to it. I have my cornstarch, and this is to thicken it a bit. I have my sugar. I have some flour. I have butter. And I have my pie crust, okay? So you could make your own pie crust. I don't have time, so I bought my Pillsbury, pie crust, okay? And I just wanted to give you a little brief history. Like American apple pie, like they said, is a patriotic thing, okay? And the phrase originated like in the 1800s. And it came about because you remember Johnny Appleseed, and stuff like that. But it didn't become popular until like World War II. And during the war, soldiers often told journalists that they were fighting for a mom and apple pie. And then since then, it became a symbol of home and family for many Americans, okay? And this is popular in the fall, right throughout the seasons, but mostly during the holidays, from fall all the way back to Christmas and stuff like that. And it's just a nice treat to have. Okay, guys, so come along with me as I put together my apple pie, okay? Okay guys, so now I'm just going to be peeling my apple. You could use an apple peeler if you have one. I'm just going to use my regular knife and peel my apple. Okay guys, so this is my diced apples that I have here. And I think this is enough for a 9-inch pie that I'm going to be making, okay? So this is what I have here. And I'm going to heat my butter. What you could do, you could put it in a pan. Okay, and you could mix all your ingredients together before you fill your pie crust. But for me personally, I just want to soften my apples a bit. So I'm just going to do it on the stove, okay? I'm going to stew it a little bit on the stove before I fill my pie crust. Okay, so I'm going to turn my stove on and I'm going to heat my butter, okay? This fire is higher, that's why I turned that on. I have 1 stick of butter over here. So I'm going to be heating that over here in my pan. Let me just dry this off. I like to make it first. Some people, they make their batter and they store it in the refrigerator before, like a day before or so forth. But I'm just doing everything all today. You could make your pie crust, your pie recipe first before you put it in your crust, okay? So let me just get this all, let me dry this over here. Let me put it closer. Okay. So I'm going to melt 1 stick of butter, okay? I'm going to melt a stick of butter here in my pan. 1 stick of butter. Okay, that melted. And I'm going to be throwing my apple. This is to cool my apple in, so let me put this over here. Okay, I need a cup of sugar, okay? This is 2 cups. So I'm going to be, while this is melting, let me measure my sugar. You could use granulated sugar, but I like using brown sugar. That's just me. Let me get a bigger spoon to take out my brown sugar. because you need to give it a little sweetness also, because you know it's apple pie and you need sugar in your apple pie. Okay. Okay, so I have my butter over here. Melted. Okay. And then I'm going to put my apple pieces in here. Okay. Let me get this piece over here. Let me turn this down. Turn this down a bit. Let me get my measuring spoon here. Okay. And in the meantime, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to get one whole lemon. Gives you around, what is it that I need? I need 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, okay? So 1 whole lemon will give you that, okay? And it will give it that nice zing, okay? This doesn't have any seeds, so I'm just gonna squeeze this over it like so, okay? It flavors it very well, the lemon juice. I'm gonna squeeze all that good juice in here. Okay, it flavors it very well. It's a little bit, I could use that to wash my sink with. Oops. Nice juice. And if you have bottled lemon juice, you could use that too. Okay, and that calls for 2 tablespoons or 1 whole lemon juice. Okay, let me dry my hand. Okay, so that smells so good. Okay, so let me turn that up a little bit. So while that is cooking, turn the handle around. Okay, okay, throw your sugar in there. Okay, mix that around. That looks good already. Okay. Get it all caramelized. Looks good. Okay, have my sugar. Now we're gonna use 1.5 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. Okay, so to go in here. Let's see if I can scoop it up with this one. Let's scoop it up with the smaller one. Put it in here. Don't want to waste it because cinnamon is expensive. Okay, so you're going to be throwing your cinnamon, and I need a half a teaspoon. This is a half, so it's 1.5 that I need. Okay. Let me just keep mixing it. Oh, it smells so good with the cinnamon. It smells really good. Okay. Now, let me close this. Get the, like so. I'm gonna throw it in there. Okay. Mixing that together. See, it's kind of watery, so that's where the cornstarch and the flour comes in, because you need to thicken it a bit, okay? So let me mix that together. And for my cornstarch, I'm going to be using 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, okay? So let me go ahead and measure that. This is my cornstarch. too big. Mix it a little bit with some water because it can get a little lumpy. Okay. Just mix that water. Cornstarch. And that to gel it together. Okay. Throw my cornstarch in here. You could add as much cornstarch as you want to thicken your stuff, but I'm going to put some flour in here too to thicken it. And my flour calls for 2 tablespoons of flour. Let me get this here. Okay, have my flour here. That's 1. And that's 2. Just close that. Put it all together. Okay, and that is to thicken up your sauce. Okay, so just let this cook a little bit for a good 5 to 10 minutes, okay, until it thickens up. And let me see, I didn't forget any ingredients so far. Okay, so all my ingredients are here. All my ground cinnamons are there, and my eggs and stuff like that, that will come in later. I'll show you how to use that. Okay, guys, I'll be right back. Okay, that looks so good. It's thickening up already, see? And you see, when you're finished with this, you have to let it cool before you put it in your crust. You can't put it in there hot. Okay? See how it's thickened up already? Yes. And this is what we want. We want it to be thickened, okay? Definitely. So it could stick to your crust once you fill it. Okay, guys? So I think I'm going to turn this off now. Okay, and I'll be right back. I'm going to fill it and get my pie crust ready and fill it. Okay, guys, so now I'm ready. I'm going to be putting my pie crust into my pan. And when you buy these, they're in the frozen section in the supermarket or in your refrigerator. You have to take them out and let them thaw up for about 60 minutes or so, 40 to 60 minutes. Let me cut the ends. If they pass me that scissors right there, let me cut. This is my kitchen scissors. I'm going to cut the top of it to take this out. Let me see what it looks like here. This is my, you could, like I said, you could make it homemade. Wow, it's sticking together. Maybe I left it out for too long. Yeah, I don't want it to stick together. Okay, unroll it. Okay. Okay, here we go. It's nice. And so we're gonna fill our pan. This comes with 2 pie crusts, okay? 2. You have some that has 1, depends on what you're making, but this has 2 because this is for the bottom and I have 1 for the top. Okay, so let's go here. So you're just gonna fill it, and these are 9 inches, so they fit perfectly into a 9-inch pan, baking pan. You could use a glass dish if you have one. I don't know if I have a glass dish, but yeah. And let the top of it hangs over for now. Okay. Let it hang over like so. Okay. We're just gonna fill our pan like this. Okay. Looks good. But like I said, if you have time and you want to make your own pie crust, go ahead. But that's a lot of work. That's a lot of rolling and kneading and stuff like that. So that looks good. Okay. And now I'm gonna get my pie filling and I'm gonna scoop it on in here. Okay. Let me show you from this angle. See, it's nice and thick. Fill it like so. Get all that nice juice in there. Okay. And then you're gonna flatten it out, okay? It smells so good. Oh, this is nice with ice cream. Yep. Yep, spread it all around. And it smells so good. You could smell the cinnamon and the nutmeg. Yep. Very good. Very good. So good. Nice, 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 nice. Let me taste the filling. Let me just taste a little bit of it. It's nice. Just perfect. Now I have my second filling. And I taste the lemon too. It's nice. So I'm going to be putting my second pie crust on top to seal it. And then, I left it out this morning for a while. Maybe I left it out too long. It says to leave it out for at least 6 hours. I got distracted doing other things. Let's put this out of the way. Let me try and roll this so it doesn't break up. Kind of got a bit soft. Seal it. Okay. Sealing it like so. If you want, you could cut the excess edges off of it. Okay. I'm not very good at making edges, but what most people do, they fold it in like so. It's gonna be good either way, you know, doesn't have to be fancy. Okay. And then what you're gonna do, I need a small knife. Where's my small knife? Right here. Once you have that sealed, then you're just gonna cut, so it could get ventilation, you're gonna cut some strikes in it like so, okay? So that it can ventilate once it's baking, okay? And then we're gonna do our egg wash. So I have an egg over here, and I'm gonna crack that and beat it up. Hold on a second, let me take that out. You're gonna wash it with egg, okay? You always have to wash it with your eggs. Or you could do apricot juice if you wanted to. You could put some apricot juice on top of it. But I'm using egg wash. Make sure it's beaten. Okay. It's well beat. Okay, let me get a brush. Let me see if I have a brush in my drawer here. I don't have a brush. Let me have it. Oh, this brush. I don't want that brush. Let me get my brush over here. Get my brush, and you're gonna, yeah, so it's cut, okay? So it can ventilate while it's baking, okay? And then you're gonna wash it with your egg wash, okay? And it's gonna give it that nice color, nice golden brown color. Yeah, just go around and wash it with your egg wash. Okay. Do the sides also. And it's not really hard to make, you know? It's easier to make. Okay. And then to top it off, You could put some white granulated sugar, but like I said, I like brown sugar, and we're gonna pretty it up with some sugar, sprinkle some sugar on top of it. Oh boy. Okay. You don't have to if you don't want to, but we're gonna sprinkle some sugar on top. Okay. And we're gonna bake it in our oven for 50 minutes to an hour on 400 degrees, 125 degrees. Okay. And so this is your apple pie. Instead of baking it in my conventional oven, I'm gonna use my air fryer. I recently acquired an air fryer, and I've done so many things in it, and it's so quick and it's so good. And I'm gonna be using my air fryer over here. Make sure when you're baking your apple pie, you put it on a tray, okay? So I'm gonna put this on a tray like so, okay? And I'm gonna stick it in my oven, okay? And then I'm gonna set up my oven here, my air fryer. You can fry, bake, and do a lot of stuff in it. Okay, so I'm gonna put it for an hour on 400 degrees. So I'm gonna put it on bake over here. Let's get to bake. So bake, I'm gonna do it for an hour. 47.50. 1 hour. I'll watch it. I'll put it on 425, and I'm gonna hit start, okay? And I'll be right back once it's finished baking. Okay, guys? Okay, guys, it's been in there for a while now, and I'm checking on it, and look at it. The color is beautiful. Look at that. You see how beautiful it is? It's doing its thing. It's gorgeous. We'll pull it out a little bit more. See? Looks really nice. Okay, do your thing, apple pie. Okay, guys, I think my pie is already done. Okay, I'm gonna stop it and take it out. Okay, let me just cancel this, clear that. It smells so good, and it looks so good. Well, let me take it out with this here. Move this back, move this over here on the mat. Let me close my little oven here and plug it out. Okay, it looks really nice, and it's golden brown, okay? Oh, and it moves also in the pan, but it's hot. And you have to let this cool for at least 2 to 3 hours, okay? And it's easier to cut when it's cool, because if you cut it when it's hot, it will just go all over the place. So it's best to let it sit and cool for at least 2 to 3 hours, okay? And then you could slice it whichever way you like and serve it with ice cream. I'm gonna be back in a few hours, and I'm gonna show you the final product, and I think I'll have some with some vanilla ice cream, you know? It looks really nice, but look at the texture. It looks really nice, okay? Okay, and it's not runny or anything like that, okay? Looks really nice. So I'm gonna let it cool like I said, and I'll be back and show you my apple pie, okay? Hi guys, so my apple pie is cool now, okay? It's been sitting here for about 3 hours or so, and I'm gonna cut it. Okay, let's see what it looks like, okay? Cut it nice, please. I like the crust already. Love the crust. Okay, let me make certain. Slice it. Use this to pick it up. I always like the crusty part of pies. That's just me. Okay. So here we go, right here. And it's nice. Okay. Came out nice. and brown, which I like very much. And I'm gonna eat mine with some ice cream. I'm gonna use some vanilla ice cream. Here I have some vanilla ice cream. Let me just, and I'm gonna walk after this. I'm definitely gonna exercise after this. Let me see, this is a bit frozen. Try and get a scoop. You could eat it as it is, but most people usually have it with ice cream. I love it, and I think that's enough for me. Okay, so let me get a fork here, and I'll taste it for you. I want a fork. Use a fork. Let's cut it and see what it looks like. See how it looks? It's nice. See? The apple. It's nice. This is good. And you know what I like about the homemade apple pie? Is that you put your own ingredients in it. It has no artificial coloring or any preservatives in it, okay? It's very tasty and it's not very sweet. And the ice cream that I have is organic ice cream, but you could use whatever ice cream you want, okay? And you could keep this in the refrigerator for a week or so. And if you want to freeze it, you could freeze it, put it in the freezer for at least a month or two. You could wrap it up and store it away. And you could make as many as you want and store it away for your holiday that's coming up or whatever. Okay, guys? Thanks for watching. Please, guys, please like, share, and subscribe. Okay? And happy fall. Happy apple pie making. Okay, guys? Please like and subscribe like I said. See you next time. Happy apple pie making. Bye.